Once you have finished with your bracelet design, we need to get this set up for a laser engraving process. So you should have already downloaded and installed the laser software on your computer, and some of you may have needed to go to the SHS library and have Mr. Hedrick install that for you. Once you have that ready and your design is finalized, we need to check a few things. Number one, you want to analyze distance and check from end to end here. We want to see that this is in fact 6 inches, and then we want to go from top to bottom and see that this is 1 inch, and then you know you are ready for engraving on your bracelet. The other thing we need to check is that we've got a border that's going around this, and then that we have everything hatched and ready for engraving. At that point, we are ready to engrave this. So I'm going to ask that you set up your laser engraving EMF file so that I can import your file and engrave your bracelet. So to do that, we're going to come up to the File menu up at the top, which I can't see on my screen, but we're going to go File, Print, and open up the Print menu. At that point, we are going to look for the printer, which is the PLS 4.75, and we're going to select that. We're going to do a couple things before we go any further. The number one thing we want to do is check our scale, and so I can see right here this is scaled at 350%, which is not what I want. I want 100%, which is 1:1. So I'm going to change that, and then I am going to hit the Set button. And remember, we are going to try to put this in the upper corner right here, and once we have that set, we're going to hit Enter. And I've got a rough draft right here, which I don't want to have in my printable area, so I'm going to close this real quick. I'm going to grab this rough draft, I'm going to slide it out of my printable area, and then I will do Control P to bring back my print menu. So now I am ready. I got the printer selected, I have it scaled correctly, I have the window set. I'm going to hit Print. And at this point, it's going to print it over to my laser software. So I'm going to come down to this little hidden menu right here and select this icon, the Universal Laser Systems Control Panel. I'm going to open that up. At that point, my bracelet should be right here in the laser software. And I've got to do a couple of adjustments here. So the first thing we're going to do, come down here to the Settings tab and select that. We're going to go to our Materials database in the upper left hand, and we are going to select Metal. And we are going to select Painted Metal, because that is what we are doing. We are doing painted metal right here. And we're going to select the material thickness. The material thickness of these is about a 1/16 of an inch, so we're going to put in 0.125 as our thickness, and that is going to set the height of our laser so it's focused. We're going to apply this, and now we're just going to check a couple of our settings here. So we're going to come to Manual Control, click on that tab, and we only have one color in this, which is black. So the first thing I want to do is make sure my Z-axis is on, because that's going to focus my laser. So Z-axis on, I'm going to hit the Set button to make sure that locks in there. And then I'm going to look at my adjustments here. I like to engrave at 100% power and then adjust my speed. So I'm going to adjust my speed down, and in this case I want a fairly good engraving, a fairly deep engraving. I'm going to go down to about 65% to try and etch away that whole layer of paint on the bracelet blank. I'm going to hit Set and OK, and now I would be ready to engrave this in the laser. If we were doing this actually in class, I would have you do a couple more things to make sure that we center the design on the bracelet. But because we're not, I'm going to have you do one last thing, which is come up to this folder right here, and I'm going to click on that folder, and we are going to do an export. So I'm going to do I'm going to select the export right here, and I'm going to select a name, Mr. Off my caps locks, Mr. V's bracelet final for laser. And notice that it is a .emf file. I'm going to save that just on my desktop, and I now have that file saved so that I can come back and import that in the laser when I engrave these bracelets for you. Once you have saved that somewhere, please move that and copy it into your Microsoft Teams folder and send me a Teams message letting me know that you have completed that task. At that point, you are done with your bracelet project, and I will be able to go and engrave that for you.